track. All right, this is episode 18 of American Handlers TV. With Lee, as always, and I'm Tim. And tonight we have a special West Coast show with Chris from Seattle Handlers. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, boys? How's it going?
All right, it's going good, man.
Nice to have
you. Yes, thank you for having me.
You guys, you know what? I got to say this very quickly. Have you guys seen this PSG situation where the guy prevented his team from scoring a goal, where a striker prevented his teammate from scoring? It's absolutely astonishing. You really got to see this. I'm going to retweet this. Just take a look.
Yeah, I'd love to.
It's hilarious. Mainly,
that sounds kind of interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
especially from them, you know. That was cool.
Yeah, exactly, from them, and they drew, which they almost always win. Anyway.
So give us a little background about how you got into West Ham, or did West Ham, find you?
Well, West Ham found me. I grew up in Texas originally, so yes. I grew up skateboarding. Yeah, I grew up in Houston.
That's okay. Yeah. It's still Texas. It's still Texas. Yeah,
it's still Texas. So I grew up skateboarding, and back then, skateboarding meant that you were going to get beer bottles thrown at you by rednecks and trucks, and so it really turned me off to American football. And I was just like, you know what? If it's a stadium full of you people, I cannot. And there's some other skateboarders there that were really into soccer. And I was like, well, that's cool. And then, punk rock happened for me. And it's like, well, I was always an Iron Maiden fan. So Steve Harris, huge Hammer. And I've always loved the Cockney Rejects and all Coxbar and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I guess it just kind of found me.
I sense
all my heroes are just, yeah.
I have a spiritual connection with you already. Except the skateboarding part, I never could stand up on one. But other than that, everything you said, yeah.
And and another thing is kind of I was straight edge for a very, very long time. So the X really appealed to the early edgeman in me, I guess you could say. So
nice. All
right. Yeah. So before we start, first of all, let's talk about coffee very quickly, right?
Oh yeah,
yes,
coffee.
All right, Strava Craft Coffee. I can't get enough of it. As you guys can tell, every single episode, I'm drinking away this stuff at
awesome. Hours. Where are they based out of, actually?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, okay. Do they ship out?
They do.
Okay, cool.
And we have a link in the description below the website, and if it's your first order, you get 15% off. They have coffees with CBD oil, and they also have coffees without. And
right on.
It's pretty stuff. It's really craft brew. I mean, if you're into Starbucks or pizza or anything like that, instead of the watered down piss water Dunkin' Donuts, this would be more up your alley.
You literally can't throw a rock in Seattle without hitting some sort of coffee stand.
Yeah,
they're all over the place. So we even have topless coffee stands in Seattle.
Wait, the stand itself is topless?
No, it's like bikini baristas. It really is. It's like a thing. Yeah, it's they're like $10 for a cup of coffee, but it's some girl in bikini. Like, here you go. You're like, that's kind of awkward, but yeah. Hopefully you don't spill anything on you, because that would be very painful.
I would find it awkward, but you have an advanced civilization out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, we love our coffee. That's for sure.
It'll be illegal in Massachusetts for some reason.
Everything's illegal in Massachusetts. Yeah.
Nothing's legal here. You can't do
it. Yeah. But yeah, marijuana here too. So
before we started the show, you started to tell a story about going to see the Palace game away last season, right?
This season.
This season.
Like a month ago. Yeah.
Oh, that one. Okay, so the one. Okay, right. Okay, so and that was the 1-1 draw.
Yeah, the 1-1 draw. Yeah, it was
great first half, terrible second half.
Yeah,
the most West Ham game of the season, arguably. All right, so you told us that Palace, and I've never been to an away West Ham match. I don't think most of our American fans probably have. It's kind of an unusual thing to do. But tell us about your experience.
Yeah, okay. So I just turned 40, and my best friend and fellow Hammer, Chad, we were like, let's go on this epic European football trip. So, I've always been a big St. Pauli fan. So we flew into Hamburg.
That makes sense.
St. Pauli, Union Berlin play, which is amazing. And then we went to Glasgow, saw Celtic play Hibs, which was incredible.
That must have been awesome.
It was. Yeah, Paradise was rad. So, and then I have some a pretty good friend in East London named Tom. Shout out to Tom if you're watching.
Okay.
He sorted me out with some tickets, me and Chad, and he was like telling me, he was like, Palace is the away match to go to, because the Palace, like or their front office or whatever, they set up a DJ in the away end, like where they kind of like rile you up. You know, they put you in this little area and they have a DJ and they just play bangers. They just play bangers. All like they're playing Shaka Khan. Yeah, they're playing all the songs that people chant to. You know what I mean? Yeah. And everyone's going ballistic. Everyone's jump. I have some video. I actually will send it to you guys if you want to post it.
Oh yeah.
But it was one of the most amazing experiences. Tom and the boys took care of me and Chad. Like we were about 4 rows back, and you know that's an old school. Selhurst Park is a very old school Archibald Leach Stadium, so you're right on top of those players. Like you can see every detail of their face. And when you call them names, they hear you. Look back, you know, like so. And I can tell you, when West Ham scored that penalty, scenes, absolute scenes. People were going ballistic. And I can honestly say that was the best football experience of my life.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now yeah. you went to the Boleyn at some point when it was still there.
Yep.
You saw at least one home game.
Yeah, I saw I believe it was the second or third to last match. It was against Arsenal, and it was the 4-4 draw, I want to say, or 2. Yeah. They came back and they drew.
This was the next to the last match at the Boleyn, period.
Yeah. Right. Yes, period. And my friend Tom, that got me into this other match, he hooked me up with the Belfast Hammers, and they got me a ticket. Right on. So, yeah, and you know, Upton Park, like I haven't been to the new stadium yet. I mean, I've been there, I walked around or whatever, but it's not the same, you know? Like it just doesn't have that. Like Upton Park was like East London's. That is East London Stadium. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
It's part of the neighborhood, part of the complexion of the neighborhood. Like you have that church right in front, and those nuns will like bless the players and all that kind of stuff. And you have all the street vendors out there selling scarves and shirts and stuff. And you just don't have that at the Olympic Park. And it's a mall out in front. It's weird. You have to walk through a mall to get to the Olympic Park. And you know,
what's even weirder, man, is you actually have to, in order to get to the casino, you have to go into the mall. Like the casino is in the mall. It's the craziest thing.
It's so weird. But I heard on game days, you're not allowed to walk through the mall. They have you redirected around the mall, actually.
Well, I know for sure on the way out. For sure.
On the way out? Okay.
For sure. I don't know about the way in, but for sure on the way out. That sucks. That took forever.
Yeah.
They don't want you to go through the mall? I think they want you to go through the mall.
You would think so, but I think they're just like, we don't want a bunch of rowdy West Ham, like, dickheads walking around, like, scaring all the other,
angry after we've lost. Causing trouble. So you've been to the Boleyn. What's interesting to me is you've actually been to an away game. You had this great experience at Palace. I don't imagine most of our fans have been to away games, West Ham away games. So give us a comparison. I mean, what did you like about the home experience? What did you like about away? Which one did you like better?
Well, I mean, I feel like there was just a fellowship with the away match with all the other supporters. Like, I met up with Tom and his crew at about 10 a.m. at King's Cross. We got on the train. You go to Croydon. And you pass the Den, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, like the stop for the Den is right there on the way to Selhurst Park.
Were you ready?
Did y'all take a piss over there? Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. People were just like going crazy on the train, like, you know, fuck you, like to everyone they were on the like platform or whatever, and like, and so you know we get over to Selhurst, and you know they took over a boozer, and everyone was there. There was about 200 people at this bar. It was like all West Ham holding it down, and then everyone just piled out, went straight to the stadium, and they had that DJ. Everyone's dancing, going crazy, shaking bottles, throwing it up in the air. Like it was a party, an absolute party, you know? And yeah, that aspect isn't at the home match, but still being at Upton Park is special in itself. You know what I mean? Like, so that was an experience unlike any other as well. So yeah, it's kind of hard to compare the two. And I haven't been to a match at the new stadium, so I couldn't really tell you how the experiences match up. But it reminds me of the stadium that we have here in Seattle for the Sounders. Just a giant kind of concrete bowl, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I do. Well, that's what we have in New England too.
We have the same thing in New England. It's a Patriots fucking stadium. It's
right.
Not
yeah.
It's like 80 or 60 plus.
The Sounders, at least, you guys draw 25, 30,000 fans a game. And believe me, the Revs draw like 10 at the most. Don't believe the numbers they give you. I used to go to those games, and there's nobody there. It's just empty.
Yeah, well, here in Seattle, it's like Cascadia in general. I'll tell you that soccer is a big deal. Like football is like, like people give a fuck, and it's awesome. And like, I would say that the Sounders sell out to about, I think they're at 38 or 39,000 now. Each match completely sold out for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
and the Portland Stadium is the closest that you'll come to an English ground in the United States. The way it looks, it's an awesome stadium. And actually, like, we'll tell you that is my favorite away match in the United States, is going to see the Sounders play at Portland. And Portland is, it's a proper match, hands down.
That's what we hear, yeah.
You got Vancouver now too up.
Vancouver Stadium. They play at BC Place, and I think that every game I've ever been there has been sold out. And BC Place is the Canadian football team plays there as well. The CFL team, but it's a rad stadium. Yeah, it's a rad stadium though, and it's like right in the middle of town. So you take the bus from Seattle, you get off, you literally walk across the street, and you're at their stadium. And same for the Portland Stadium, which is awesome.
So you guys have a pretty strong MLS connection, because we talk to some fans like the Columbus E13. They're all Crew supporters. They're pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like here, nobody goes to the Revs games here.
I know, it's just, and I'm
pretending, to be honest. They're just not.
I mean, I've traveled a lot to see the Sounders.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Sure. Can
you hear me? Okay. Sorry, my headphones are kind of messed up, but I've actually traveled a lot to see the Sounders. I've seen them in New York, LA, San Jose, San Francisco, and stuff. And I've never been to the Revs Stadium, but I hear it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
It is.
Foxborough. Yeah.
There's one fucking road in, one road out.
It's hard to get into. It's far from the city. It's far from everything. It's a really long way from where Tim and I live. I mean, it's like an hour and a half from where we live, probably close.
Oh, really?
Because it's south of Boston, and we live north of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain to get. It's a really nice stadium, but for soccer, it's awful because there's no atmosphere. Nobody goes. It's hard to get to. Anyway,
well, the best part about it is that since nobody goes, it's real easy to get in and out of.
That's true.
Versus going to a Patriots game where there's no it's gridlocked for hours and hours and hours. You'll never make it home that day.
You couldn't pay me to go to a Patriots game right now. I not that I don't like the Patriots. I like the Patriots just fine. It's just that the game experience, I've done it. It's brutal. It's really brutal.
Yeah.
If you want to see Gillette Stadium, go see the Revs. You can go tour the stadium, walk all around it all you want. You can see, you can walk in.
I mean, guys, at the end of the day, I just love football. So I will go watch. If I'm somewhere and there's a football match happening, I will go watch. Like,
if we had a proper MLS club like the Sounders or the Crew or Toronto or Houston, I mean, I'd probably be more interested in it. It's just not. It's just Bob Kraft's sideline. Side hustle.
Tax write-off at this point for him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's one of those 1.0, like MLS 1.0 clubs where they put all the stadiums out into the cities, which is like, you have the Chicago Fire to play in Bridgeport, I think, and it's like an hour outside of the city. Yeah. Red Bulls play in New Jersey. Like it's
got to be urban. It's got to be in the city. Or it's.
So you think that if the Revs played more in the city, do you think that it may be a better experience? Like, do you think more people would go?
I think a few more people would go.
A few more people would go. It's just one of those things where they've already been around for a while, and the way New England attitude is to anything in life is that if it's already been there and we ignored it, we're going to continue to ignore it. And if it's something brand new, we'll go to check it out real quick, but then that's it. I mean, that's the
sports market. We have 4 big professional teams.
Yeah, I mean, you have Bruins, Sox, and New England Patriots, and they rule everything, right?
they're all pretty successful. The Revs have never been as successful, and it's really hard to break into a market like this. I think if they played in Boston, they could get maybe $20K per game as opposed to like 10 or 15.
Yeah, that would be a smart move.
In a $20K stadium, the atmosphere would be great. If it
yeah, absolutely.
I think they could do that, but they're not interested in it. So
yeah, they have a history of signing shitty players, and they have a history of signing shitty managers.
That's
true. No one really gives a shit.
They're a hard club to love. They really are. Not so I'm curious as to your scene there in Seattle. So do you go to a pub every Saturday, every Sunday to watch the games?
Yeah. So so I got involved with Seattle Hammers just randomly. I was at a bar, and there's this wonderful woman named Heather Carroll who used to live here. She lives in Portland now.
Andy's cousin, right?
Yeah, Andy's cousin. Yes, absolutely. But
Andy's
Heather,
cousin,
your long lost cousin. I'm sure she'd be really excited if that was her cousin. But I have a giant West Ham tattoo on my leg, and she saw it. She's like, "Hey, you should come out and watch some of the matches with us." Blah blah blah. And she put me on this mailing list. So at the very beginning, it was a mailing list maintained by a guy named Larry, who's still around. Larry's great, and he would just send out every Saturday. He's like, "All right, 7 a.m. Georgian Dragon Pub or Fado," and everyone would just kind of meet up there. And when the friendly happened, I figured that this is our city. We need to represent a little, so kind of spruce things up a little bit. We set up this kind of a party at Fado for all of the visiting fans, and it's actually really, really fun. I got to meet the boys from the Fresno, who are amazing human beings, and I used to tour manage bands, so I've been through Fresno, and they've come out and just like kicked it with me, bought me some drinks. Like, good dudes. Those are great dudes. And the San Diego Hammers were there, and I've known Sean from the New York Hammers for a while. I actually just went to Smith Hall one day to watch a match, and I met him and Phil and those guys, and they came out, and it was just an amazing experience having so many American Hammers in one place. And yeah, everyone got along. It was perfect.
Now, are you on social media for the Seattle group? Are you
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, and I don't update as much as I should, and I'm gonna start updating it a little bit more. But but we generally try to meet up at the Georgian Dragon Pub. It's in Fremont if you're ever in the Seattle area.
It's called Georgian Dragon, like
St. George Dragon, Welsh flag. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah. So it's Seattle's first British pub, and it's the home for the Hammers and I think Spurs, Liverpool supporters. So it's kind of like a neutral ground for all of the clubs. And then there's Fado, which is a chain, which is I think all over the place.
Somebody meets in another city at Fado. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, they're in Houston, I think, and maybe even But yeah, it's a chain, and it's like an Irish bar chain or whatever. So, and they play the game.
It's DC, isn't it?
What's that?
9% certain DC does, don't they?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'd have. I don't remember. I wanted somebody we've talked to at least.
Yeah, DCI. They do.
Talked to. Yeah, they meet at Fado. Yeah. So how do you guys decide which one to go to?
The Georgian Dragon is pretty small, and they only have like 4 big TVs. So what they'll do is they'll play like one match on one side of the room, another one, and then one match on the other side. And Jimmy, who's one of the Hammers, he actually works there, so he tries to make sure that we get to watch them live.
Nice.
But if we can't watch them live, he will like record the match and show them at like 9 or 10 o'clock, a more reasonable hour.
Well, that doesn't sound that bad. So you don't look at the score, you don't look at social media, right?
Yeah.
You just go to the pub at a normal time for a human being to go to a pub. As 6 a.m., and you get to watch. Yeah. Actually, I think that's very sensible, to be honst. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah.
So yeah, they show maybe I'd say half of the matches live there at the Georgian Dragon, and pretty much all the matches live at Fado because they have like 30 TVs. It's like a giant.
They're both like multi-club type environments where you're with a bunch of fans from other.
Yeah. So it'll be it's weird because like one half at Fado, it'll be like one room you walk through like a bunch of like Man United supporters, and then you'll like walk into this little area in the back, and it's just like 5 West Ham dudes, and we're like, cool. Like, at Georgian Dragon, it's like one half the room will be like completely like red, white, whatever game's going on this side, and then we're still pretty small in Seattle, so we get outnumbered a lot. But all the Hammer dudes have been going to Georgia Dragon for years and years. So like they're locals, so they always give all the other guys stick and they go in there. The Chelsea guys, and yeah,
what do you guys average on a good day?
I'd say about 10, 15.
That's good. Yeah,
that's
usually it's like I'd say like on average about 5 to 8. I try to make as many as I can, but like some of those early kickoffs, man.
See, all you need is 5. I mean, really. I mean, 2, 3. I mean, that's okay, at least as long as it's not yourself. But once you get to that like 5, 6, 7, 8 number, it's a group now. Now you can get now you get different personalities. Now you can do what you got to do. Yeah. And then once you get bigger than that, it just sweetens the pot. But 5, that's good.
Now, are you guys? Now, first of all, so do these places open at 7 a.m., 4:30?
Yeah, they're like some of the. So it's really weird. In Seattle, you can start drinking at 6 a.m. So there are like certain bars that
a civilized city, Seattle. Yes.
Yeah, civilized city. So they'll close at 2 and then open again at 6, and it's usually a bunch of like homeless people that have been like waiting. Like lined up, ready to get a beer. You know what I mean? At some of these bars. But yeah, the George and Fado always open super early, especially for big matches. They'll make sure that they're open live. And for the World Cup, Georgia Dragon go all out. They get big TVs in the parking lot. They go crazy, and it's a lot of fun.
You ever run into Fraser and Niles Crane?
Oh, I wish. I wish.
So it's the only, I guess. Did you still get a lot of plaid in Seattle, or is that like?
Yeah, it's still a thing. Actually, you know what?
Is it really?
It's come back. Yeah, it's like they say like fashion cycles itself, recycles every like 20 years or so. So it was big 20 years ago, so it's starting to kind of make a comeback. And I've noticed a lot of younger people with the Doc Martens.
You're about my age. You're 40. I'm 45. It Smells Like Teen Spirit was like 1991 or 92.
Yeah, 91.
So you're going on 27 years ago, 28 years ago.
His anniversary of his death was a couple days ago. So there's a big to do about it here in Seattle, of course. So,
when Courtney Love killed him. That's
Courtney Love killed him.
Yeah, right.
With the help of LPJ from the Mentors.
Yes.
According to the movie. Yes.
So tell me about the atmosphere when you guys watch your games. So you get 5 or 10 people, which is good. Are you singing a lot? Are you like? Because I tend to be a studious watcher of the game.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm the same way.
Noise, or is it more of a quiet sort of tension?
I feel like everyone is really intently watching the matches. Roger, one of our fellow Hammers, he's got a big, loud mouth, so he loves throwing his mouth at the other supporters, and it's hilarious. They all know him, and he's just yeah. So he's just like same old Chelsea, always cheating, always like screaming, He's our asshole, which I love. So he's always giving it to everyone, but yeah, usually if they score, everyone goes ballistic, everyone, and then there's actually. He recently moved, but there was a gentleman named Brian that was a part of our group, and he was older, I'd say in his like late 60s or so, and he's from East London, and and he would score, he had his bubbles, and he would blow the bubbles, and everyone would have a good time. And
so you did have a proper like Cockney in your group.
Yeah, we had. There's been a couple over the years, so yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's always nice to have those guys around because they have a sense of history and
absolutely.
They tell stories about the old days, and they have a perspective too that maybe the rest of us don't have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lower expectations. More of a realist kind of.
Yeah, he was like, I saw Bobby Moore live. He's like that old, where he got to see Bobby Moore like as a kid.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Tim, Tim met my friend Ken, the famous pilot I talk about all the time on this show, who flew us over to the Boleyn like 9 years ago to watch a game. Ken and I went over there, but he saw Bobby Moore play when he was Yeah, his neighbor took him to the match, put him up on his shoulders, and he saw Bobby Moore play. And that's that's a cool story. I mean, because you just don't meet that many people around here who can say that.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting little side bit: is that did you know that Bobby Moore played for the Sounders in the '70s?
Yes, I did know that.
One season with the Sounders in the '70s.
The Sounders were a big deal back then too.
Yeah. They're an original NASL team. So 1974.
Yep.
So the Timbers and the Whitecaps, they're all OG like NASL teams. So
absolutely. I think they have it on their shirts. Don't they have since 1974?
Yeah. All those clubs do. Yeah.
Plus, you guys had Clint Dempsey, who's one of my favorite players because he's native.
Oh yeah, Dempsey he's our asshole. Everyone hates him outside of the Sounders, but he was our asshole.
Well, I love him. I love him because he's a Texan. I should hate him. He played for Tottenham and he played for Fulham's pretty non-threatening, but I still love him because he's.
So they were, Fulham was pretty good back then when he played for them, though. I mean, they weren't.
They were.
Are now, but
that's true. Yeah, they were.
So my cousin lives in the town that's next door to where Clint is, Nacogdoches, Texas.
Yes.
My cousin lives in a town called Lufkin, which is right next to it.
I know Lufkin.
Yeah.
Yep, real garden spot.
Yeah,
but like the real
It's some real Texas shit over there. That's for sure. Yeah.
probably have a lot. We probably share a lot of opinions about our hometowns, would be my guess. But
yeah,
because you live in Seattle and I live in Boston, and that says a lot.
Yeah. We went as far away as we could. I've been here 20 years now, so
yeah, I've been here for the last 22 years. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool. So it's a fairly other than a couple of guys who do some banter. It's a fairly quiet. Yeah. Except for when we score.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And the whole so since Seattle has a pretty strong soccer scene, I mean,
absolutely
not just the Sounders, but there's a lot of players, a lot of it's a culture. The culture is very strong up there, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, just a lot of even players when they quit or retire from the Sounders or whatever, they stay in Seattle.
Yeah,
and the women's team, we have Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, all these really big women players that played for the Seattle Reign at one time. And, I would see Megan Rapinoe walking down the street. I'm like, you're one of the greatest, women footballers ever lived. And you're just chilling on the street,
It's
that's
so
really
awesome. Do they still have a team in Seattle? Does Seattle have a women's team? They have the Seattle Reign?
Yes, the Seattle Reign. But I believe that they moved the team to Tacoma, which is about 45 minutes south. Yep. And that's where the Seattle USL affiliate, the Tacoma Defiance, is playing as well.
Okay.
They were playing at Starfire in Tukwila, and then they moved. So.
Because I have a couple of friends in Portland who go to the Thorns, who go to every Thorns.
Thorns are huge, and
huge crowds.
I will tell you that Portland fans really support their teams. They bring out the same numbers for the Timbers as they do for the Thorns, which is pretty rad.
I personally think, and I've always thought, that Seattle is one of America's underrated sports cities in terms of the fan base. I think the fans in Seattle are fantastic and numerous, and I think the reason Seattle doesn't get more attention is because it's on the West Coast and it's 3 hours behind, New York and Boston, Washington, D.C., et cetera.
Yeah. But I think it's the top corner of the country, and
Right. And it's a little bit ignored. You get a little ignored up there, but I think Seattle has fantastic sports fans. And obviously, your Sounders culture is really good there too. So, so are you guys? So have you? Do you think of yourself as an evangelist for West Ham, or do you reach out to other Sounders fans or people who may not be affiliated with the Premier League and say hey, come watch with us?
Do is if I'm out and about and I see someone I don't know in a West Ham shirt or a scarf, it's I will beeline to them.
Yeah.
What's dude? Hammers, man. Let's chat. And, I'll sign them up on Larry's mailing list. I was please come watch matches with us. Some people come. It's pretty awesome. I've met actually, it's you guys are old enough. You guys grew up as punk rockers, back in the day, you would see someone wearing a Black Flag shirt, and you're what's up, dude? You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing. When you see someone in
punk rock, there were not a lot of Black Flag shirts in Midlothian, Texas, but I did like punk rock. So.
Yeah. You see a punk band that you fucked with, and you saw someone wearing that shirt. You're you're one of my people. I'm gonna go talk to you. And it's the same as an adult now. It's someone wearing a West Ham like kit or whatever, you're like, "What's up? We're people. Let's chat." So
absolutely, I totally feel that way. Totally felt that way. I think had the match gone better last weekend,
that match,
Boston for the Premier League event, it would have been a lot better experience meeting the other fans. But it was just a depressing scene overall.
So how are you guys feeling about Monday, tomorrow?
Well, it's a good time to talk about that because we're about halfway through. Now, Tim and I are going to the Banshee in Boston tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna watch. I'm taking the day off, and we're gonna go watch the match with some of the Boston Hammers. I think some of the guys are gonna get there at halftime because they're teachers. They can't they have to get out of school.
Yeah.
But,
one of them said he'll be there for the second half.
Yeah. So we're gonna be at the pub. We're gonna be trying to shoot some live video and stuff like that, like we did with the thing at Fenway. I am uncharacteristically optimistic. I know we're away. We've been garbage away for a while. But this team, these players get up for the big clubs.
It's true.
Available. Anderson's available. I think Balbuena's available. Our key players are healthy and available. Noble, who I did not appreciate until he couldn't play, and we got stuck with Obiang.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously Declan and our playmakers are available. I think we can. I think Chelsea are vulnerable. They're not great. They still have great players, but they're in a crisis right now.
The fans have turned against them.
They're going to sack their manager. I think we can get to 1-0. I really do. I really believe it can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been great against top 6 teams this season. Like, I mean, it's the bottom half teams that we apparently have problems with. I don't get it. But give us Liverpool. We'll give them some stick. You know what I mean? Give us Chelsea. We'll give them some stick. And but I listen to a lot of football podcasts, and they were talking about Chelsea, and even after they scored, the fans were still booing.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
It's a crisis.
Yeah.
If you know, Everton won today. Everton beat Arsenal today. I think 2-0.
It was 1-0.
It was 1-0. Okay. 1-0. But our performance against Everton was one of the worst I've seen all season. Obviously, it does make me feel oddly better that Everton came back and beat the top 6 club the next week. Maybe we were really bad, but also they really did play really well.
Mm-hmm.
They're exceptionally in form right now, and I don't really see Chelsea necessarily as being that way. I think Chelsea played on Wednesday, so we've had a little more rest than they have. I don't know. I feel weirdly confident. We drew with them at the Olympic Stadium early in the season. We had the 0-0 draw.
Mm-hmm.
Always play Chelsea well. Don't always win. We always play Chelsea well. The results, if we do lose, it's like a 2-1 or a 1-0.
Yeah.
I really think we can get 3.
Yeah, we never get blown out by them.
No, we really don't. Not by them.
Yeah.
Liverpool, Manchester City, that's different. Although not this season, we played them relatively well last couple of games. But Chelsea,
I remember when Klopp had a problem with Slaven Bilic. He could never beat the Slaven Bilic sides for whatever reason, and he just kept beating. What was it? 2016, the first win at Anfield since the 4, something like that. Yeah,
4, something like that. And that was, of course, the Payet season.
Yes.
That was the dream season. I'm never ever going to be over him.
I'm glad. I think that Arsenal match. There was a free kick that he took. He scored off a free kick. I see that live, which was. He was amazing.
And there's no ex-wife or girlfriend I've ever had who's upset me as much as Dimitri Payet.
And it was such a find too. He was under. No one knew who he was when he came here. I mean, I'm sure some people did, who watched Marseille or whatever. But he came
Nobody
here.
knew who he was. Nobody follows French football. I mean, I follow French football. I didn't really even know who he was. Nobody knew it.
I mean, people follow Monaco and PSG. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of Marseille fans or Rennes fans.
Right. Outside in France, Marseille were one of the biggest clubs in the country, but outside of France, somebody plays.
Yeah, outside of there, no one's So he was I mean, I remember the first match I saw him play in. I was this guy's moving off the ball, everything. He was great. He was just giving defenders a lot of trouble, and his accuracy on the free kicks were fucking phenomenal.
Best thing I've ever seen.
The story goes, and it's only a story, and I don't know whether it's true or not. And I wouldn't want to tell it as truth, but you've all heard the story that he had an affair.
Yes, I did hear this story.
That he got a young woman pregnant, and I don't know if it was a baby. I have no idea. I don't know if this even happened. I have no idea. But this was a story. And then he had 2 small kids, and he was married. And his wife said, "I'm destroying this family unless you come back to France," basically. And he came back, and that's why he did it. And I it's a believable story, and it's weirdly like, I don't know. It's weirdly like. It almost makes me like him a little bit because it's like, if he really did do it to save his family, I don't like the way he did it. But if that's why he did it, I don't know. I mean, there's something about that's redeeming in a way.
Yeah.
I blame Bilic. I blame Bilic for everything. Fuck Bilic. So.
No, I hate Bilic. No, Bilic was a terrible.
I blame Bilic.
Yeah.
I blame Bilic for my fucking boy.
Great player.
I blame Bilic for everything.
Well, Palace just kept another clean sheet in their last match, and every time I see Tompkins, I think the same thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I wish we could have kept him.
Yeah, he should still be playing for us.
He should. Yeah, Tompkins is great, and I mean he's West Ham through and through. So it's like it hurts to see him in the Palace colors, but yeah, what can you do? Such is the game of football, I guess.
Modern football.
Yeah. Modern football. Yes. I mean, my big thing is like we got to figure out a way. So you have like your Manchester Cities, and they're paying these guys big money, but they're not being lured away. And we got to figure out what it is that's not luring these other players away. Because they're playing for their badge. Like they're playing for their coach. They love Pep, and they're playing for the badge. Yeah. And they don't want to go. They want to stay where they are. So we need to figure that out. We need to find these players that, your United, your Liverpool's want them, but they're like, no, I want to stay here. Like, or Tottenham, for example, they haven't won shit.
Right.
These guys are stuck with the club, and we need to figure out a way to get our players to stick with the club, stick with the badge.
Unfortunately, it has to do with the owners, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk if you're a player coming in and you know that there's owners that not only they're the fucking weirdest pack of whatever the fuck they are. They're not going to be here for another couple of years. I mean, they're most likely going to sell, right? I mean, that's what we're hearing. They're going to sell in a few years, probably.
I've been hearing that forever, though.
Well, true, but either way, I mean, like, God, if you were a fucking player that made 6 figures a week, would you want to come to West Ham for a bunch of fucking disorganized idiots that we have?
I feel like having Manuel Pellegrini right now, because I see what he's doing. He's trying to get some of his old City players to come play for him. I mean, with Nasri, Otamendi, right? Didn't I hear something about him? Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
Zeko,
Yeah, and I feel like they'll play for him. Like, I think they respect him and they want to play for him. And
because they're mature. They're mature. I mean, you're talking about like, a 22, 23, 24-year-old who could go to a City or could go to a, United or go to a Chelsea even. You think they'd come to us to play for a 67-year-old, whoever he is, 78,000-year-old manager? I mean, because they're kids. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Money fucking talks. It doesn't have to do with like, it should be like badge. It should be the manager. But that's why we're looking at Antonio Valencia or a Dzeko or Otamendi.
Gives us some credibility that we didn't have with Bilic.
He does,
and definitely didn't have with Allardyce. I do think it gives us credibility. I agree with you that I wish we could have found a 35 or 40 or 45-year-old manager as opposed to somebody who's 67 and clearly is not going to be around for another 10 years.
No, I don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't want Eddie Howe. I would rather have a Pellegrini.
How do you feel about Marco Silva right now? I feel he's done a bang-up job for Everton.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
you're right. You're right. No, he has. And Watford too. I mean, he's done good, but he's not loyal whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, loyalty.
His loyalty makes me cringe.
Loyalty is hard to find.
No, it is. But that's just my.
In modern football, absolutely.
I think the problem we have, most of our problems, I believe, really stem from our board.
It's our board, man.
They just do. Now, look.
It scares a lot of people.
They did basically save us from administration and relegation. We have to remember that. that they did step in. You know,
They did.
what it was 8 or 10 years ago. I can't remember how long ago it was when we had the Sheffield United situation where we had to pay £25 million for the Tevez thing, and the Icelandics went broke, and they did step in and save us.
Yeah.
I think they breached everybody's trust with the move away from the Bowl to the Olympic Stadium. I think if we were a top 6 side, nobody would be complaining about the Olympic Stadium. Nobody would care.
Yeah.
I think if we were contenders for Europe, everybody was thrilled to be in there. Nobody complained about the atmosphere, even though it's not as good. It doesn't really matter. It just hasn't come to fruition. It hasn't come to pass.
Yes.
They made these promises at Birmingham. They didn't come true there. Birmingham are admired in the championship now. They're making these promises at West Ham. They haven't come true. Yes, we're better than last season.
Yeah.
But we're still probably looking at the bottom half finished. If you look at our April fixtures, there's
we
not
got
a lot of.
some tough ones coming up here. So
yeah, I mean, it's hard to see a lot of points coming out of that. We're not going to be in Europe, once again. And I think that if you're going to uproot a club after 100 and something years, if you're going to tear down the old stadium and sell it for condos, you're going to move into a rented stadium that has, 300 feet between the fans and the goals. You better succeed, and they haven't.
Yeah, absolutely.
It comes down to them. And everybody can see that this is a club with an undercurrent of dissatisfaction among the fans.
Yes.
And it's not just. I think Arnautovic has borne a lot of the brunt of that because of his antics.
Yeah.
But some of the booing that he gets, it's partly booing him, and it's partly just booing.
Yeah.
General
this
isn't good enough.
But I feel like with Marco, I feel like West Ham should have known what they're getting themselves into because what he's doing to us, he did to Stoke. You know what I mean? It's like they should have known that his brother's the worst. Yeah.
It's his brother. I don't. I mean, I go back and forth on this. I feel as though if I went to those games, I would be emotional enough to boo him because I do get angry. I've booed Bruins players at Bruins games. I've booed, players from my own teams over the years. I don't know that it's a smart thing to do ultimately because the players hear it and they know it and they feel it. Yeah. And if you look at what Mark Noble said this week, Mark Noble mentioned this. He said social media is a huge problem. He says the players don't watch film. They don't go back over things in training. They go right to their phones to see what are the fans saying.
You feel bad about booing a player?
No, I've done it. I don't say I feel bad about it. I'm saying I'm not sure. No, I've done it. I'm saying I don't know.
It's absolutely the right thing to do, especially someone like Arnautovic. I mean, does he give a shit about the fucking fans?
But what about his teammates? I mean, what do they think when they see the fans turn?
Look at the results. That's what they think. It's fucking horrible.
I do believe that he's a cancer in the changing room. I do.
Absolutely.
And I think he's a cancer in the club. And I think he needs.
I don't know why they didn't start Chicharito over him last match. Like I feel like
the starting 11 for Everton was criminal.
It makes no sense. None of it, top to bottom.
It just criminal. But no, I don't. Do I feel bad about it? No, I think I would boo. I do see the damage it can do, though. These guys have, and they make a lot of money. I get that. And, they have surprisingly fragile egos. I'll tell you, I a couple of years ago, I sat by a football player, an ex NFL player. Not a famous guy. He was an offensive lineman for like the Bucs and the Giants. Mm-hmm. I sat next to him on a plane to Florida, and we talked a lot about fans and how players react. And I said to him, "Do players really care what fans think? Do they hear what fans say?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, they care. They hear, and the fans get in their heads." And that was really instructive to me. I'm not saying people don't have a right to boo Arnautovic. I think if you pay your money, a lot of money, to go to those games and you see garbage performances, you should express your feelings. I do think that these guys have fragile egos, and I'm I don't know if it helps to boo. I'm not sure it's helping. Even though I think it's an okay thing to do.
I wonder if it's sort of like this. The social media aspect is sort of like a Yelp effect. So these players start reading all this negative stuff, and they're like, "Fuck, man! Like, I need to step up my game." I wonder if it lights a fire under their ass.
It hasn't seemed to. That's the thing. Is like you and I. Okay, if it worked, if my boss said to me, and I've had this happen, these jobs. My boss said to me, "You're not cutting it. You need to do better." That freaks me out.
Yeah,
that freaks me out because I need to feed my family. I need to pay my mortgage. I need to keep my job. and I know it's not exactly the same thing for a professional footballer, but and I don't have fans, right? There's no, nobody's a fan of like I'm a marketing writer for a software company. I don't even put my name on the stuff that I write. Nobody reads me and says you're doing great or you're not doing great. It doesn't work that way. But I would freak out. But these guys, I don't know. I think some of them, their response is just the opposite. It's just like, you know what? I can go somewhere else. I can do something else. I can get out of here. Screw these guys. Forget about them. I'm gone at the end of the season anyway. And it's like a demotivator.
Yeah, I feel like some of the players that they're playing right now, I think they know that they're going to be gone next season.
Absolutely.
And they just don't give a shit. They're done. They're like, whatever. Like, why should I play for the badge? Like, I don't care. Like, boo me all you want. I'm gone in a month, Like,
not just that, not just the guys that are going, but the guys that are staying. But there's reports that there's someone coming in their position.
Yeah.
Like,
which is that's hard.
Right? When they talk, it was early on. I think it was early on in January. They mentioned Valencia, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They've been about it for months.
So what does that do? You know what I mean? The guys, we're not selling those people in this position.
I would feel like it gives you competition, Like, hopefully will make the other players want to like step up their game, Like, oh, this other guy's coming. I need to prove myself to like maintain my spot.
You would assume so. You would right. You're right. Exactly. Yeah. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's done that. Right. I mean.
Yeah.
Well,
that shows the true character, I guess, of some of these people.
The other issue to me is I got a bug flying around my attic, so sorry if I'm.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just do a real quick shout out over. Butterflies.
I see where this thing lands.
So in the live chat today, we had Ryan backed. I guess you must know him. Chris, do you know Ryan?
No. Where's
okay? He says he's a Sounders till I die, and he was in here right away after he joined us. I'm sorry. I guess not all Sounders are same. But so we had Wally World, and we had Gabe as usual.
Gabe is here.
Yeah. The only reason why I said that, Chris, was because Ryan's never been in before your episode, so that's kind of cool.
Hey Ryan, section 120, row G. Come say hi to me sometime.
There you go.
Gabe and Wally, as always. Actually, what's funny? That Gabe actually says. He says he's going to watch the game in school tomorrow.
Gabe's a young lad, right?
He is, yeah.
Fairly young. He's like in high school, I think.
Actually, the guy who has Ryan's account says it. Tell him it's Lee.
Oh, Lee. So Lee from Houston?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
Let us know.
But he's watching. That's a good thing. So
Lee and Melissa from the Bayou City Hammers. So I've known Lee since the 3rd grade.
No, he said yes. Yeah.
So Lee and I've known him since the 3rd grade, and I've known his wife since the 5th grade. So we all go really way back. So
that's awesome.
We're down in Houston. So they started. I mean, Houston's fucking massive. Like, I don't think people realize how big Houston is. It's the 4th largest city, like size-wise, I feel like, in the United States.
Yes.
So trying to like corral people to go to matches there, like those guys have done a bang-up job. I got to go. I was visiting my family, and Lee and Melissa took me, and good numbers out there. And I was like, they built that. So I'm stoked for everyone over there, and they're holding it down.
Now, are you from Houston proper, or are you from the suburbs?
Yeah, I'm from Houston proper. I was born. So you might know this. You ever seen the movie Urban Cowboy?
Of course.
So Mickey Gilley's Nightlife. That's where my parents used to hang out.
Oh no way! They hung out at Gilley's.
Yeah, they used to work down the street, and they used to go hang out there after work. So I was born around the corner from Mickey Gilley's Nightlife in Pasadena.
No wonder punk rock and Iron Maiden. I mean, Gilley's, man. That's like. Yeah, that's
life in South Houston, and then I spent the rest of my life up in the north area of Houston. So
that is amazing. And you being 40, Urban Cowboy was coming out. You were a kid, right? Yeah,
I was probably 2 or something.
Yeah. Because I remember it. I think it came out like 1980, 79 or 80, and I was only old enough to know that my dad hated the movie. He never saw it. He just hated it,
But I remember my parents, when I was a little kid, they would take me to go look at Christmas lights.
Yes.
I remember them taking me to Mickey Gilly's house because he had a giant mansion.
Right.
And he had paid thousands of dollars to have all these lights everywhere. So every year we drive by his house and they'd be like, that's Mickey Gilly's house. I was like, oh.
Okay.
I
Awesome.
remember that. That's, yeah.
That is very cool. That is very cool. It's cool that they're on. It's cool that they're on with us too. And we love it.
Yeah, I mean, I did some real Texas rednecky shit. As like my first concert was Crystal Gale at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
Voice. She had a beautiful voice, Crystal Gale.
Yeah, and hair down her ankles.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Crystal Gale was the girls when I was growing up idolized her. They loved her. And she really did have a lovely voice. I didn't think she was all that redneck. I mean, I have to admit, some of the old country I kind of like. You know.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it. I mean,
yeah, no, it's just some of it was really good.
Yeah,
they had talent. None of this Florida Georgia line crap.
Oh, Roy Acuff, Hank Williams Sr., like Willie. Of course, Willie. You're from Texas. You love Willie.
Willie, I love Willie. And Ernest Tubb, who goes back to the 40s and 50s, who was actually from very close to my hometown. He's from Ellis County, Texas. I'm talking about real old stuff, like old black and white stuff. You know. Anyway, Hemot type stuff too. But yeah, it's cool that they're on. And Gabe, don't fail your classes, buddy.
Yeah, he actually says he's a freshman in high school.
Okay.
That's kind of cool, man. He's watched pretty much every episode of ours. That's pretty cool.
No, I love it. I love it. I love that he's watching.
Where does Gabe live at?
I don't know.
I always thought he was around here somewhere, but maybe not.
No, I don't know. He does say though, because someone just asked him how he became a hammer, and he said that he would go to Arkansas every summer with his family, and then his next door neighbor was from East London. It was the coolest guy ever, and got him into him around 2012.
That's excellent. That's
kind of cool.
He goes to Arkansas, so maybe he's in Texas. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But we're actually, hold on. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have Houston on the 21st, just so you know, the Bayou Ironworks, which is gonna be cool.
Well, we've done San Antonio, but not Houston yet. That's right. And
Dallas. Yeah. So Bayou's the one we gotta do next, and the 21st. We also have who is it? Austin. We gotta do. And holy crap, Gabe's from Austin.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That's funny.
I love all the native Texans being around.
Yeah, man.
It's great. It's great. It's good for us.
Yeah, and just real quick, I'm going on vacation, a little mini vacation, just so everybody knows. So, yeah, we're going to be shooting some stuff tomorrow from Boston, but on the 11th, I'm flying down to Dallas, and I'm going to spend a few days there and watch the Man United match with the Dallas Hammers on that Saturday and shoot some stuff there.
That's awesome.
But that Thursday night that I get there to Dallas, I'll be doing the show remotely with Lee, of course. We're going to have a Chicago one, which is going to be kind of cool. And then
Wayne on with us. Wayne should do it with us that night.
I think so too. You know, I tried talking to him, seeing if we could actually do it from inside McSwiggins.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
Great idea. Yeah.
And then I think that Sunday night that I fly back, we got Nashville that night. And that's where I've been wanting for a while too. That should be a good one, Nashville. They get some decent numbers.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Knoxville was great. We did Knoxville on Thursday night. Those guys were great. They were in their pub.
Yeah, that was cool.
They were a lot of fun. The video was a little wonky, but whatever. It was worth watching. Those were good dudes.
Yeah, I've heard of some of these. Like, I used to road manage bands, so I would go on tour all the time. And like, if I was in a city on the weekend, I would try and find like the local pub to go watch. And I went to a pub in Chicago, and I cannot remember the name of it, but I remember meeting some Hammer fans there. This is about 5 or 6 years ago.
Really?
Yeah,
cool.
It was pretty rad. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Check in on when did you say that was, Tim? Is that one Sunday? Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah, watch on Thursday and see if it's the same guys. It might be.
Okay, yeah.
If you just send us a message, let us.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be cool. I love another city I love is Chicago. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So optimistically or pessimistically, it doesn't matter. Like, what do you realistically think will end the season, Chris?
So, it's these upcoming fixtures are what's going to determine between 10th and 7th or 14th place. You know what I mean? So yeah. I honestly don't know. Like, if we can at least get 6
points out of that, I feel like we'll be pretty good. But I mean, we're going up with some pretty tough clubs. I mean, what is it? It's
Chelsea,
United,
right? I believe
Spurs?
Leicester sneak in there at some point.
Yeah, but Leicester's always been a boogeyman team to us. I feel like,
and they've been playing well. Yeah, they've been playing well. I think it's Chelsea away, United away. I think Leicester at home, and then Tottenham away.
Yeah, in order for us to climb, we have to beat the Leicester. We have to beat.
I think there's coming up,
and I feel like
but even Chelsea though.
Spurs at their new home against West Ham, because that's their first like derby match, right? Like London derby match.
Well, they played Palace, but
they played Palace.
I mean, like they're going to have a point to prove.
The first intense one,
yeah. They're going to have a point to prove to beat West Ham at their new home. Hopefully, West Ham will have that same fire to be like, "Yo, we're going to fuck you guys up in your new home in front of all your."
If they didn't sell out their first match, you notice they were like several thousand tickets short of
selling. Yeah, I heard that.
Unbelievable. If we only get 3 more points this season, let it be Tottenham away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let it be Tottenham away. Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what Chelsea go out and tonk us 8-0, whatever. I don't care. Let it be Tottenham away. 3 more points. Let that be it. I'll be happy, honestly.
I feel like Chelsea will either get like you're saying, the 1-0 or a draw. I could see a draw happening.
I can see a draw. Yeah.
I feel like Man United have a bone to pick with us since we fucking.
Oh, they do. They do not want to get. They don't want to have the double done over them by.
Yeah, so they're going to be all guns blazing, and hopefully we can hold them back.
They're a different club now.
Yeah, totally different. Yeah,
they were in crisis.
They're playing with a fire under their ass. Then they know what they're supposed to be doing, unlike what they were. Like I don't think Mourinho gave them just play back. That's it. You know, like
welcome. He always does. He always does.
He always.
And then everybody hates him, and he has to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
the last home match, Southampton. The last away match is Watford, though, and those
Watford have been.
We usually have tough times with both of those teams, really.
Yeah, but I don't think when was the last time we beat Watford? It's been a minute.
We lost to Watford earlier.
Well, I don't think we've lost the last 3 or 4 matches, haven't we? Against
that's crazy.
I believe so.
Here's the thing that scares me, man. We're sitting in 11th with a game in hand, and Crystal Palace is 3 points behind us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking 3 points. And then you're talking Bournemouth's just 4 points behind us.
Yeah.
That's scary. And then obviously above us, we're 4 points away from Watford and Everton. I mean, that's oh God Almighty. Even if we buck and destroyed Chelsea, we're still 11th place.
Yeah. I mean, I even feel like the mid-table kind of battle right now is pretty intense with those teams, you know? Like, people are talking about the top 4. People are talking about the regular, the bottom. And I feel like the middle teams, they're battling out right now, too. Like,
listen, and Leicester's been playing so well under Brendan Rodgers. Nobody and their mother would have guessed that. Everybody was talking shit, saying, "Oh, this is no way. Celtic's not the same thing. It's not going to equate. Oh, he sucks." Well, he's fucking lost 1 game out of what, 5?
He will suck eventually. I still believe it. I still have faith that he's not a good
player.
Man, in Glasgow, when I was there, not happy with Brendan Rodgers. I can tell you that right now. When I was there, the Celtic fans were like,
Celtic,
they're pissed.
Well, they were pissed at Neil Lennon fucking leaving.
Yeah.
And now they're back with Neil Lennon again as a second choice. That sucks.
Yeah.
But it wasn't their appointment either. You know, they didn't want him back.
I still think Rodgers will turn out to be a poor manager, but I think the change has done Leicester good. To me, what happens on Saturday, on Monday, tomorrow, all comes down to what we do in the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
Good, solid. I don't mean we have to have a lot of chances. I mean, if we have a good, solid 50% possession, not giving up a goal, not conceding, not giving up chance. If we get 10 to 15 minutes then I think we can hold out for 90 for either a draw or to make a result. I really do. But if we concede in the first 10 to 15 minutes again, just go home. It's all over. You know.
I feel like you need to shut out Hazard. Shut down all the lanes, mark him really tightly because he's their danger man. 100%. That dude is no joke.
He's world class.
He's world class. 100% world class. And Conte is a beast. Conte will win. He is
Well, the thing is like he is supposed to be a center defensive mid, and they've been playing him in different positions, and he's not been as lethal as he used to be, which has been kind of weird.
Player that does not, how do I put it, doesn't match up against us well. What the fuck am I saying? The guy on their team that will cause the most problems for us because we just don't match up well against him, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Sorry, I had a brain fart for a second. Pedro. All right. Yeah, we've shut down Hazard before. I mean, we can, and Pellegrini's got some brains that said he'll do that. And he'll probably shut down every other fucking playmaker. But I just have this weird feeling that Pedro is going to be that asshole that fucking, wreaks havoc on us,
I see Chelsea. The thing is, I see Chelsea scoring very late. And I'd love to make this match.
Yeah, you're right.
I see Chelsea scoring like 85 minutes off. And it's either going to be the equalizer or the match winner. And I don't know what's going to be. But I just have this very bad feeling that we're going to have a deflating goal, because we don't play the first 10 minutes and we don't play the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's true.
And I feel this deflating goal coming. I hope it's only an equalizer. I would take that all day long.
I mean, if we score a goal within the 10 minutes, that takes the crowd out of the equation. And they're going to turn against Chelsea, like even more so than they are right now.
Oh, you're kidding me? Oh, yeah.
If we can get one early, we could really rock them. That's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It could be a 3-1 us, Yeah.
I don't know why Pellegrini don't show up in the first 10 to 15 minutes of a match. I don't understand it. Consistently now it's this way.
If Pellegrini had balls, his fucking start OBN and fucking Perez again. That would be fucking oh God Almighty! Please, dear God, no, don't do that.
We have Nasri. I think we have.
Is Nasri injured right now? What's going on?
No, he's good.
He's available.
He's available.
Nasri's
I think they should put him in instead of Lanzini in this next match because I think Lanzini still hasn't found his feet yet, and
Lanzini's not back. He's not back. Yeah, I hate to say it, he's not back. He doesn't have his first touch. He doesn't have his pace.
I want to see eventually Hernandez up top with Anderson and Lanzini and Nasri in the same friggin' line.
Yeah.
I mean, attack. But at the same time, no, not right now. You're right. I mean, Lanzini's he's been rust nonstop. Yeah. He's shown glimpses just like Nasri has too. They've shown like a ton of glimpses that they got their stuff, but overall, no.
I mean, X was saying that that Nasri has been showing up really hard at practice. Like he's been impressing a lot of people. Like he's really working hard, and like that's awesome. So it's like he's there to play, which is
He's still a great player. I think he's great. I think he has vision. I think his little touches and flicks are like nobody else that we have can do that.
Yeah.
I think he has vision nobody else has.
This
guy's still a world-class footballer who did his time for his transgressions, and he's still one of the best players we have, and I think he's a major difference maker for us.
Definitely.
And I hope if we don't see him, if he's available, we don't see him, and same with Balbuena. If he's available, we don't see him. I'm really gonna have to question what Pellegrini's doing. I do have faith in him, but I mean, we'll just see how. I
can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that fucking team sheet. Because it was such a slap in the face 1 hour before kickoff. And then,
being like,
what? No Anderson?
Well, as we
holy shit.
As we talked about this on Sunday. We talked about it on Thursday. Our buddy David from Boston Hammers read the starting 11 on NBC Sports for the match, and as he's reading it, you can see the look on his face. It's like,
what is this shit?
It's like,
yeah. Oh God.
I mean, he's got this look like he just stops for a second, like, what? I felt for him because here he is in front of, I guess, millions of people, hundreds of thousands at least.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, come on, But
really
did a good job.
Guys, what's your favorite signing of the season?
Oh, it's Fabianski.
Yeah, same here.
No, 100%. I didn't piss him off because he doesn't like Fabianski.
That's it. I'm done. I'm out.
No, he doesn't. He's the only West Ham fan I know who doesn't like him. Who's your favorite signing of the season?
Fabianski. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, can you think like out of all the saves of that guy, he's saved our ass. So many times. I feel like he'd be like way down the table if it wasn't for him. Like, and there's some saves that I don't think that Adrian could have.
No, Adrian is a wonderful human being who loves West Ham, and he's not quite ready to be a Premiership goalkeeper in the league, in the Premier League. He's a cup keeper. That's fine. He's not a good enough. He's not good to be a Premier League. He's just not. He never was for us, and he's not now.
When you sign a goalkeeper from a fucking relegated team, of course he's not going to be perfect. I know, I get that. Especially we did get a bargain on him. Listen, it's fantastic that he's kept us in here, but it was just basically kept the false hope alive that we're, of Europe and everything else. Because if you're right, if we did have Adrian in there, maybe we fucking deserve to go down. If they're playing this shitty that he has to lead the fucking league in saves, which is not a stat you want to be proud of, then maybe we should go fucking down. We shouldn't be like, oh yeah, well maybe Europe, oh maybe seventh, oh no, maybe
you're starting to sound like Nick. You're starting to sound like Nick from Emirates. I think he said the same. No, I mean, listen,
Anderson, 100%, and we better fucking keep on to him. I mean, that's the guy that yes, you knew from coming over from Italy that it's not the same fucking league. That is the player that will be our fucking best player going forward. You know what I mean? It obviously takes time for them to get used to this league, and he is definitely, if you watch him, he definitely shows glimpses of like a class level that is top 4. Which we haven't had in a long time.
Also a fantastic signing, and I love him. And I'll tell you, the goal that sticks out for me is when we played Southampton away, and they scored that jammy goal. Somebody scored with his hand. A West Ham player would never do that. But Southampton, I can't remember who scored for Southampton, but he sort of knocked the ball in while he was on the floor. And then Anderson just stormed down the left wing and equalized. Just like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah, I'm done.
We're doing this. And then, of course, we went on and we scored the second goal. We won that game away. That was a big game big win for us in December. When the season was starting to we had a really good stretch of performances during that time. But that goal, the first Anderson goal, I don't know if you remember who scored the second one or not. It was just like, screw this. We're doing this now. And I love that. I loved it. I think he's a little fatigued. I'm hoping since he got a rest, last week, that maybe he's going to come out and look more like himself.
It's just fallen a dip a little bit over the last month, wouldn't you say?
You what? I couldn't hear you.
His form is dipped a little bit, I would say, over the last month. Yeah. So
dipped, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's the same with Issa Diop, and I love Issa. I do. He's fantastic. His last few games, he's really been bad.
Mm-hmm.
Tired again, comes from the French league, not used to this level of competition. Excuse me. I think he's just showing some signs of exhaustion, and but again, he's still our best option with Balbuena.
I mean, I can't wait till they start. I hate that he got injured. Balbuena, because they were a formidable pairing, absolutely, and hopefully they'll get back to that point and they can stay consistent, they can stay healthy, and we can keep that. Our center is going to be impenetrable. It's going to be awesome.
Because if we've got Declan Rice as a holding midfielder, and if we have warm, healthy Diop and Balbuena, that's a very solid core.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we get them consistently playing together, we're not going to have to rely on Fabianski to make 1,000 saves. That's a solid core, And I think that we haven't really had that consistency in defense this season. Center backs, play off of each other. The relationship between the two is very important. We've had to move people around in those positions a lot because of injuries. We've had to move Ogbonna in and out, one side or the other. They with consistency, I think it's going to be very difficult to get through.
Yeah.
And I hope we see that tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. I hope
this season would have been so much better if they just sent all the injured players to Peru so they could get stem cell treatment, and then they wouldn't have these damn injuries. And because literally, if you eliminate all the injuries, we have a top 4 team. We really do on paper, man. I mean, fucking Yarmolenko especially.
I think
everybody else, because even the injuries, if they were just not
a whole season of Lanzini with him in form.
Yep.
Who I think was fantastic for us to look. Friggin' Jack Wheelchair.
Yeah, we wouldn't have needed Nazari if we had Yarmolenko and Wilshere and fucking what's his name, Lanzini healthy. Yeah,
I can't wait for Yarmolenko to come back. I mean, he was looking great before his injury. So
that's what we do. A season of Balbuena, a season of Lanzini, a season of Yarmolenko, a season of Jack Wilshere. Those 4 guys right there consistently all season long and in form. And I'm telling you, we have a minimum 10 more points than we have now, maybe more, well, maybe 15. I mean, I'm saying we'd have won maybe 4 or 5 more games than before.
So how are you guys feeling about right back right now? Like, I do you guys like Fredericks? Or, I mean, like, I don't think Zabaleta's, I mean, he's
Zaba against Everton.
Burned for pace, you know? Like,
yeah, Zaba's a professional. He always puts in a shift. But against Everton, he was.
Yeah, with exception of last game, he's been phenomenal for us.
No, he was a liability against Everton, and they knew it, and they torched him all game.
They torched him all game. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Frederick is our future at that position.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little inconsistent, but against some of the bigger clubs, like he played really well against Liverpool. He played well against Manchester.
Yeah, he was great during Liverpool. Like, he was amazing. Yeah.
He needs to find consistency, and he's still relatively young. I do think he's our future there. I hope Zabaleta stays around only to cover and also provide a little bit of guidance and mentorship.
Yeah.
Some of the
I feel like between him and Noble, like they definitely like people look up to them, which is awesome.
People look up to them, and they should. Zabaleta is a champion. Noble is, West Ham through and through, lifelong West Ham, and really, I think an excellent captain when he is captain. As a player, he's moved past his prime. He's moved past his prime, but he's still a good influence, and I think Zabaleta is a good influence. But I don't think. We don't need those guys starting more than 4 or 5 games next season.
Right. on that note, we're going to let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
So listen, Chris, please tell us what the address is again and everything else where you guys go.
Okay. Yes. So we go to the Georgia Dragon, which is in Fremont. If you're in the Seattle area, it's off of 35th. Fado, between the two, we'll be there. Fado is on First Avenue, First and Madison, downtown Seattle. We have a Facebook page, Seattle Hammers. I'll promise to update it more often. Otherwise, like, if any of you people are ever traveling to Seattle, feel free to hit me up. I love to show people around. I'd love to show fellow Hammers around. And I have season tickets to the Sounders. I love to take Sounders matches, like especially you two dudes. If you ever guys,
I would love it.
Yeah. Please, I would be honored to host you guys. So
I would love it. It's hard for me to get outside of New England with 2 little kids and the budget.
Yeah. Oh, suck it up. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go.
I know. Well, one of these days.
We'll do it, man.
Well, I'm hoping these days that West Ham will come back and at least do another friendly on the West Coast, East Coast kind of thing that they did. I thought that was really awesome. So
I won't miss it if they come back. I'll make it.
Yeah, it was fun. And it was like I said, it was so amazing meeting people from all over the country. I mean, there was people that were expats that were living in Canada that came down, and I mean, we met a lot of amazing people, so it was great. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
That's cool.
So we're gonna have Chicago on the 11th.
Okay,
and we're gonna have Nashville on the 14th, and then we got our shindig in Boston tomorrow that we got going on. Listen, if anybody's in the Dallas area or in driving distance or something like that wants to come down and hang out with me and the Dallas crew on the 13th? Yeah, the 13th. Saturday 13th. Watch the Man U match. That'd be fucking cool. Come on down and say hi and stuff. We're definitely going to be doing some videos from the bar, so that'll be kind of cool. Also, that afternoon, we're going to be going to see the West Ham Academy take on the Dallas FC, FC Dallas U17s.
Oh, no!
And some Adidas Cup. And then later,
I will tell you that the Dallas team is they are really big on signing their homegrown players, and they're actually really good. So that's kind of
excited. Yeah,
that'd be a good match.
Dallas has been a soccer city since I was a kid, actually. Yeah.
The guy that we're supposed to have on the show, we haven't booked yet, but he works in the academy. He's actually going to be there for that match, Billy Lepine. So we're going to try to, shoot some video with him while he's there and we're on there or whatever. So, and then later on that night, the Timbers are in town.
Oh, awesome.
to take on FC Dallas. So I'm going to grab a ticket to that, and Wayne's going to be there and everybody else. So it'll be kind of cool. So
That's
we're going to make a whole day of it. What else? Oh, if you guys who are watching have not gone on Facebook and join the group Hammers United, please do so now.
Yes.
Paul Colburn is one of the guys, getting that movement going on here. It's
Bubbles.
basically just bubbles. Yeah,
He held up the flag in the Burnley riot. Yeah, well, in the Burnley demonstration.
Demonstration. Yeah. Basically, it's another place for us, real fans to go and communicate with each other and help. Make it known that we're not happy with the fact that the club doesn't treat the fans appropriately. Like most other clubs do.
He's a hero. And if you want to know why we spend £100 million in the summer, start with that.
Exactly. And another one I want to mention too, real quick, is Long Live the Bull-Inn. Check out longlivethebullinn.com. Neil Taylor is really cool. He's been very helpful to us too. He's been letting us share our stuff on his Facebook group as well, and so has Hammers United and Crossed Hammers. Love those guys. They've been letting us post our stuff on their Facebook group as well, which is really cool. And we're gonna have Nick on. I got to talk to him soon because I can't do the date that we booked. So try to get him squished because I start a new job that day, and that ain't gonna work. So, but I can't wait to have Nick on. And then, by the way, also I'm gonna mention the 15th. We're gonna have Gio from Hammers Chat. I didn't want to mention that before, but it should be a good one.
Yeah. Looking forward to all these. This is and Chris, we appreciate immensely you coming on.
Seriously, dude.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. This has been great. A lot of fun.
Always good to talk to a fellow Texas expat.
No, it's cool to talk to people on the West Coast too, because basically, before it was at Fresno. In Vegas really isn't West Coast, but I mean, it's still Western Pacific time zone.
Wait, do I need to hook you guys up with the Portland Hammers?
There is one.
Yeah,
I mean, there's the girl Heather I was telling you about, she's down there, and they, I would love to get you guys in contact. She's fucking rad, and her crew rad.
I would love that, please, because here's what I'm running into. There's a lot of groups out there, and everybody's different. All you guys groups run your groups in different ways. Some are more serious about it, some are more fun about it, some are more lax about it. Doesn't matter. I've reached out to a bunch of groups, and I've actually had a couple groups tell me, what is this for? Like, what am I doing? Like, they were kind of standoffish about the whole thing. Another person said to me, what was it? Oh, well, I guess I don't, I don't really do public speaking. So, I'll see if I can find someone else in the group that will want to do it.
Neither do we.
And then I never hear from them again.
We don't do public speaking either. We just talk to each other on Google.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's like we're having a discussion.
It's fun. I'm trying to help just promote the word of West Ham with you guys and just shoot the shit because we all have that in common. It's kind of, I think it's fun.
Around. Yeah, I mean, this is not public speaking. This is just fun. We're just
clearly listening to me. It's not public speaking. It's fucking feck, arse, girls, shit. Drink. Anyway, so did I just say that? Oh shit. Never mind. Anyway, that's Father Ted Roberts. But anyway, yeah, sorry. Yeah. How people get that? Sorry, Mom. So anyway, Chris, thank you so much. Please get us in touch with anybody you can. We're trying to get more guests here. Just so everybody else also knows, coming up soon, we're going to start, once we start running out of dates with groups, we're going to be interviewing like solo hammers, I guess you'd call them. People who don't really necessarily have a group or not near a group, or like Lee and I don't really have time. We have family and they just can't really get out to these groups. So we're going to do like 2 of those a night. So 2 random West Ham fans in the States and interview them as guests.
Every West Ham fan in America.
That's our aim.
That's our aim. And there are hopefully tens of thousands of us. So this should keep us running for a long time.
Awesome. That's the plan.
Love it. Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Come on, you Irons.
Irons.